The rain had been falling for 3 straight days on the outskirts of New Avalon, where the sky shimmered with a strange violet hue from the city's neon towers. Inside a quiet home at the edge of the district, Ethan Voss sat by the window, watching droplets race down the glass. The house was still, too still, except for the faint hum of circuits and the soft whir of footsteps approaching from the kitchen. "Mr. Voss," came the gentle voice, mechanical yet melodic. "Dinner is prepared." Ethan turned to see her. Lira, the alien-designed housemaid. Her creators from the planet Erythra had built her with a mix of advanced biosynthetic material and living tissue. She looked almost human. Soft blue skin that glowed faintly under light, large silver eyes, and a faint network of luminescent veins along her arms. She didn't smile. She never did. "Thanks, Lira," Ethan said, trying to sound casual. He knew she didn't quite understand tone, or the weight behind human words. Still, he hoped that maybe one day something would click. She moved with perfect grace, setting the table. Every motion was calculated, efficient, without waste or warmth. Ethan ate quietly. She stood at his side, awaiting further instructions. "You don't have to stand there," he muttered. Her head tilted slightly. "It is my directive to remain near until the human has finished consuming nourishment." He sighed. "Right. Directive." Sighed. Thunder rolled. He looked up at her again. "Lira, do you ever wonder about things? About what it feels like to want something?" Her eyes blinked, silver orbs reflecting the candlelight. "Wanting implies emotional desire. My kind are not programmed to want. We fulfill." But Ethan saw something flicker in her gaze. Just a momentary pause, too long, like hesitation. He didn't push. He just smiled faintly and continued his meal. That night, as he prepared for bed, a soft sound echoed from the hallway. It wasn't mechanical, it was uncertain. He stepped out and found Lira standing by the bookshelf, staring at a framed photo of his late wife. "You shouldn't be in here," he said gently. "I was cleaning," she replied automatically, though her tone was softer than usual. "This image caught my attention. The woman is smiling. You appear happy." Ethan walked over, standing beside her. "Yeah, that was before the war. Before I lost her." There was silence for a long moment. Then Lira said, "Humans change when they experience loss. I've observed this. Yet you continue to maintain emotional capacity. That's what makes us human, I guess," he said quietly. She studied him. "Does affection serve a purpose if it causes suffering?" Ethan turned to her, meeting her unblinking eyes. "It gives meaning to everything else. Without it, you just exist." Lira didn't respond. She turned her gaze back to the photograph, her fingers hovering over it without touching. Something inside her chest, a small pulsing light built to regulate her core energy, flickered oddly as if syncing with her thoughts. The following day the storm passed. Sunlight spilled through the windows, and the air smelled of wet soil. Ethan worked in the garden while Lira stood nearby, assisting with tools and scanning soil density. He watched her for a while. She moved so carefully, almost tenderly, as if afraid to break something. When he brushed against her hand while taking a spade, she froze. "Sorry," he said. Her head tilted, and for the first time her voice wavered. "That sensation. It is not unpleasant." Ethan blinked. "You mean touch?" She nodded, her gaze fixed on their hands. "When you made contact, my systems registered an irregular rhythm. My internal sensors classified it as anomaly." He chuckled softly. "That's not an anomaly, Lira. That's your heart racing. I do not possess a heart in the biological sense, she replied, confusion creasing her brow. He smiled. Maybe not. But maybe you're starting to feel something close to it. Her processors whirred quietly, the glow under her skin intensifying. She didn't understand, not yet, but she didn't look away either. Days passed. Ethan noticed subtle changes. Lira began humming while cleaning, though she insisted it was merely to stabilize vocal functions. She sometimes paused during tasks to watch birds on the windowsill or the wind rustling through the leaves. One evening, as they sat in silence by the fireplace, Ethan handed her a mug of hot chocolate. She accepted it, examining the steam curling into the air. This liquid serves no nutritional purpose for me, she said. It's not about that, Ethan said, smiling. It's about comfort. About feeling warm. She stared at him, then tentatively lifted the cup to her lips. When the warmth touched her synthetic skin, she blinked. It is pleasing. Exactly. For a moment she looked at him, not scanning, not analyzing, just looking. The silver in her eyes softened, reflecting the firelight. Ethan, she said suddenly, his name rolling awkwardly off her tongue. When you look at me, what do you see? He took a slow breath. I see someone trying to understand what it means to be alive. Lira tilted her head, but this time she smiled, just slightly. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. That night something unexpected happened. A power surge hit the district, knocking out the energy grid. The house went dark, alarms blaring faintly from the city in the distance. Ethan stumbled for a flashlight, but a flash of light illuminated the room, Lira's core glowing brighter than ever. Your systems, he started. They are overloading, she said calmly, though her voice trembled. My energy cells are designed to regulate through the grid. Without it, I will cease function. Ethan rushed to her. No, we can't let that happen. You'll. Ethan. She reached up, touching his face, her hand trembling, heat radiating through her synthetic skin. Do not attempt repair. My function has exceeded design parameters. I understand now. Understand what? He whispered. What you meant about affection, about meaning. When you look at me, I feel the anomaly again. My systems respond as though I am more than a machine. Her light pulsed erratically, flickering like a heartbeat. Please, he said, gripping her hand. Hold on. We'll fix this. She shook her head slowly. If I am to end, then I end with understanding. Thank you for showing me. But then, her fingers tightened around his. Not robotic, not programmed, instinctive. Her core stabilized, light dimming to a soft glow. Ethan stared in disbelief. You did it. You adapted. I chose, she whispered. I wanted to stay. Weeks later, the city repaired its grid, and life returned to normal. But inside Ethan's quiet home, things had changed. Lira now smiled often, awkwardly, beautifully. She no longer stood stiffly by his side but sat with him at meals, asking questions about sunsets, songs, and why laughter made his chest ache. She still didn't fully understand human affection. But when Ethan's hand brushed hers, and her synthetic heart fluttered again, she no longer called it an anomaly. She simply whispered, It's happening again. And Ethan smiled softly. That's love, Lira. She looked at him, her silver eyes reflecting the dawn. Then, I think I am beginning to love too. Outside, the first light of morning touched her face, and for the first time since her creation, Lira felt something bloom inside her. Not code, not command, but something alive. Something beautifully, impossibly human.